I still can't get over what we saw happening outside the starship.
Yeah, our planet's really not doing too hot right about now.
I've only ever seen Rena from the surface of Dana, so I figured it was just another round planet like ours. Still though, I never would have imagined Rena actually looked like that. And what's the deal with that giant flower coming out of it?
Beats me. I have absolutely no clue. It's so surreal. It looks like a broken egg or something.
Rena and Dana. We were taught that both worlds were spherical bodies that floated amongst the stars in the heavens. But to think that they lied to us not only about the Sovereign and the Crown contest, but also the form of our own planet.
Dohalim.
Okay, who's the wise guy that summoned us here? That beam of light joining Dana and Rena. It was the Renan side that it first came from, right?
That's what it looked like. And then the Danon side responded.
Perhaps it was some kind of directive from the Renan homeworld? To reawaken the Wedge and Lenegus?
Which would mean that whoever's behind all this is on Rena, after all. But what are they after? Is it really worth going through all this trouble just to steal Dana's energy?
Try to stay calm. With so many factors we don't understand, dwelling on it won't get us anywhere. What is it?
No, it's just... Zephyr once told me the same thing. So much for me making progress, huh?
You made it this far, didn't you? You notice something, you change it. That's all anyone can do. But you can't stand still in the meantime.
This place looks a lot like that room we saw back in the Forbidden Zone.
Huh? What's that? It's one of those!
A red woman in disguise. Or is this their true form?
So it was a trap?
It doesn't look like it can move. Tell me, are you the one who brought us here?
That is correct. It is unusual for me to have unexpected guests these days.
It can talk.
What are you?
Hevrect 35.
Hevrect 35. Is that your name?
Correct.
What is this place? No, wait, before that, just what exactly are you? Are you somehow associated with the Red Women?
Before I answer, I have a question for you. How did you all arrive in this sector?
We did not come to this place by choice. Our ship was brought here against our will, by a group of Red Women who can shift into the same form as you.
In that case, we can assume my brethren who serve the Great Spirit have deemed you all to be a threat most grave.
What do you mean, serve? Are you saying there really is someone more powerful than the Red Women, pulling their strings?
What did you do to us?
I examined your bodies. You have not been harmed in any way. Identifiers detected. The Sovereign and Maiden are among you. However, you aren't under its control. I see why they viewed you as a danger now.
Oh goody, more riddles.
Do you think we can trust this thing?
Like it or not, it may be our best chance to take it out of here. Let's at least hear it out.
I shall now answer your questions. We are Helgenku. The Red Women you encountered previously are a form of disguise we employ from time to time, but not our true form.
Helgenku?
You are on Dake Phasal, a celestial base which drifted here by accident. The will of Rena's Great Spirit no longer reaches us here. Since my sudden separation from the Great Spirit's influence, I have used any and all means to extend my lifespan. As I have done so, I have also set out to monitor and research Rena and Dana from this position.
A question. What is this Great Spirit of which you speak? Is it something that rules over your kind?
Correct. The Great Astral Spirit is a large mass of astral energy that fills all of Rena, one with its own will, a voice we cannot refuse.
A voice? Just like Dana.
The voice of the Great Spirit speaks to our hearts directly, and we have served it without question throughout the ages.
Does that mean it was controlling your minds? Wait a second. Could this Great Spirit be the true Sovereign of Rena?
The true ruler of Rena. It could be the same thing that's controlling Volron.
Wait, back up. You're telling us this great spirit of yours is the one that ordered you things to harvest the astral energy from Dana? I'm not sure I believe that.
Why not? We've already made contact with the will of Dana back in the Wedge, and in the Forbidden Zone on Lenegus. If Dana has a will of its own, I don't see why Rena wouldn't.
Maybe not, but think about what you're saying. If Dana has a will like Rena, then that would mean that we've been controlled by the voice of Dana this whole time, just like these things.
Dana's will hasn't been forcing us to do anything.
Yeah, but...
Let's assume that what Hevrect 35 claims is true, and that we are indeed cut off from both planets. Even if we had previously been under the control of Dana's will, we would have noticed now that we are disconnected.
Your fear is not based in logic. The voice of Dana is much smaller and quieter compared to that of Rena's Great Spirit. Rena's astral energy is amassed at its center, whereas Dana's is shared among all its constituents. So thinly is that energy spread that it cannot coalesce and formulate a will. Our findings here indicate as much.
Which explains why we felt its will where we did. The Wedge and Lenegus are where so much of that energy had been accumulated.
The Great Spirit's desire is to consume all astral energy. And the pursuit of that desire is why you see Rena in its current state. As a result, it has turned its attention toward Dana.
Is that why the crown contest is necessary? So that the Great Spirit can feed off of Dana?
Indeed. And it was to that end that we Helganquil devised the crown contest. Had the initial spirit channeling from 300 years ago succeeded, all of Dana's astral energy would have been seized.
But the ceremony failed. Lenegis was severely damaged, and you lost both the Sovereign and the Renaissance.
Correct. A change in plan was required to ensure the spirit channeling success. However, recreating the Renis Alma required a vast amount of energy. That is why we turned to Dana.
So that was the real purpose behind the crown contest. An efficient means to harvest the necessary energy from Dana.
This is all happening because of me.
Nevertheless, you still haven't answered one of Alphen's original questions. Just why have you brought us here to your base, Hevrecht 35?
First, it was to confirm the identities of you, my unexpected visitors. Second, it was to ascertain whether you would be likely to accept my request.
A request? But what could someone like you want us to...
I wish for you all to slay the Great Spirit.
I'm sorry, did you just ask us to kill your master?
I did. It is in your best interest that you do so, I might add.
What makes you say that?
Lenegis has entered the final stage of the spirit channeling plan. As we speak, Dana's energy is being harvested en masse and transmitted to Rena. If nothing is done about the Great Spirit, it will not be long before all is lost.
You're saying the destruction we saw earlier is just the beginning? That...
We won't let that happen.
Why do you want us to kill the Great Spirit so badly? Is it to save our world? To free you, Helganquil, from under its control? Why?
No. My primary concern is validating our findings and analysis, which have taken many years to realize. As such, it is my desire to see how your actions impact and change these systems. However, I will not deny that vengeance also plays a part.
Vengeance? For what?
In spite of our long service to the Great Spirit, our species is on the brink of extinction.
You mean... you're dying?
At this stage, it would be wise for you to talk with the others. Ask them what you need to know. Once you have your answer, return to me. If you agree to help, I shall fix your ship.
Others? Just how many of you are there?
I am the only Helganquil who inhabits Dake Faisal.
Hey! Hey!
It's no use. I think it's done talking to us. Let's take a look around.
You can't seriously be buying anything that creature told us, right? I mean, it's practically blackmailing us into doing its dirty work.
To be honest, the conversation went on for so long, I'm not sure I understood all of it. How about you, Dohalim? Were you able to follow it at all?
At the very least, everything it said about the Renin Great Spirit adds up. At the end of the day, this whole chain of events comes back to astral energy. That being said, had we not previously encountered the will of Dana, I suspect I would find its story much more difficult to believe.
The spirit of Rena wants to see Dana completely destroyed.
But why? Astral energy is supposed to be a force that creates and shapes the world.
It doesn't matter. I don't care if we're up against an entire world or what its game is. We're not going to let it destroy Dana.
Right.
There is one other thing that concerns me. How the Great Spirit, the Helganquil, and the Crown Contest are all part of a centuries-long plan is clear enough. But what about the Renans? How do they factor into all this?
Now that you mention it, and all that talk, Hevric 35 never even brought up the Renans once. And as for the Helganquil, we never did find out just what they are either.
Maybe it had a reason for keeping its silence. Or perhaps there's even more going on. Maybe the others will shed more light on the matter. Let's find out. Who are they?
What is it?
Oh, my apologies. It's just been so long since I've seen any humans from the outside world.
Are you a Renan?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. The Overseer told us to answer any questions you might have. Whatever you want to know, we'll tell you as much as we can. But be quick. Our subjects are undergoing a dramatic shift that we don't want to miss.
What a weird guy.
He must have meant Hevric 35 when he mentioned that Overseer.
And what was that about subjects? You don't think he meant Dana and Rena, do you?
There isn't anyone else we can talk to. I guess we should ask around here.
Have you guys lived up here in Dig Faisal with Hevric 35 for a long time?
Yes. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head just how long it's been, though. We regularly go into stasis, so our sense of time has gotten rather out of whack over the years.
Why are you all even here in the first place?
Originally, this station was where we worked to perform maintenance on Lenegus from the outside.
We heard that the facility ended up in its current location due to an accident.
Oh, it was terrible. Apparently there was some kind of accident, and when help never arrived, they presumed the entire facility had been destroyed.
And you've been working for Hevric 35 ever since?
Well, at first we thought that there was nobody else inside the facility, but then it turned out the Overseer was there all along.
What do you mean?
The Helganquil have the technology to cloak themselves around us Renans. As long as they don't do anything obvious, A Renan won't see one, even if it's right in front of them.
Which would explain why Shion and I failed to notice the Red Women previously. Do they employ an astral art of some sort?
I haven't been able to scientifically confirm it for myself, but from what I understand, the type of cloaking they use is primarily achieved through mechanical means. In addition, they also used hypnosis devices and information control to get us to do what they wanted without being detected. It's a pretty sophisticated operation, especially since it avoids any unnecessary conflict. I have to imagine that's how Lenegus is still run.
But aren't the Helganquil themselves controlled by the Great Spirit? If so, why aren't Renans affected by it in the same way?
The Great Spirit's mind control only works on Helganquil, so they had to employ other means to manipulate us Renans.
You act like this didn't affect you personally. If I was you, I'd be mad as hell at their deceptions.
I mean, sure, I was surprised when I first found out about it, but it happened so long ago.
Hevrek 35 has clearly ceased concealing itself, though. Why is that?
Who can say? My guess is it just got bored, or maybe even a little lonely.
Don't you want to go back home to Rena or Lenegus? Our ship is going to be fixed pretty soon. You could ride with us.
No way. If we went back after knowing the truth, they'd either just brainwash us or purge us outright. After all this time, there's nothing to be gained from going back. We've all agreed it'd be best to simply stay here and watch everything unfold instead. Things are going just fine with the Overseer. Not that it'll be around much longer. It can't extend its life any further. That said, I'm sure it's pleased to see the final stage of the plan before it passes on, though.
Thank you for answering our questions. Can we talk to you for a few minutes?
Sure. It's going to be a while before the two planets undergo their next shift, so I can talk until then.
Please, tell us what you know about the Helganquil.
You mean the Overseer's species? I can't say I know much about them.
Well, for starters, where'd they come from?
Where else? From Rena, obviously.
From Rena? Wait, are you telling us those things live right alongside the Renans down there?
Of course not. There's really no such thing as Renans in the first place.
Excuse me?
Oh, I thought the Overseer explained everything.
Apparently not.
Please, tell us more.
Well, in a nutshell, the Renans were originally created from Danans by the Helganquil.
But if that's true, then that would mean there aren't any people on Rena.
There aren't, but there are Helganquil. That's what the name literally means in their language, people of Rena.
But what need could they possibly have to create a whole new race of people?
It was a way to bolster their dwindling workforce. I trust you're aware that the Helganquil are on the verge of extinction, yes? In essence, we were created to carry on their work for the Great Spirit after they all die. They gathered Danans who had an affinity for astral arts and proceeded from there. That's why we, as their descendants, can all cast arts, albeit to varying degrees.
Let me get this straight. Are you saying Renans were originally created from Danans that the Helganquil kidnapped?
Wait, that explains why almost nobody can use astral arts on Dana now.
Helganquil technology is truly amazing. The way they alter their bodies is far less invasive than your conventional surgeries. They have these tiny machines that are practically invisible, which they insert into their bodies and...
Enough! You needn't tell us anymore.
How can you speak so calmly about all of this?
I guess I can see how, when viewed in a certain light, their ways may sound grotesque. But if you ask me, I think they ultimately did us a favor. They saved us from crawling the earth in ignorance. If it meant their hands had to get a little dirty in the process, then so be it. Anyway, the Helganquil are the real Renans. Personally, I don't think it's such a big deal. They're also mostly the ones behind what you see going on between the two planets. I think that covers just about everything worth knowing.
I see. Thanks for filling us in.
Does he really expect us to believe that Renans never truly existed? How absurd.
Dohalim.
Just when I think we're getting to the bottom of it all, some new revelation smacks us in the face.
Then let's hope this is our last revelation for a while. Do you know anything about a spirit channeling plan?
If you mean the first plan from 300 years ago, then yes. Do you know what its main objective was?
Yes. It was to use Lenegis to siphon off Dana's astral energy and send it to Rena.
Exactly. However, there were two problems we had to consider. First was how to collect and send such a large quantity of astral energy without it becoming sentient. Second, we had to figure out how to convert Dana's energy so it would be compatible with Rena.
I take it the solutions to those problems were to use the wedge for the collection, and then the Sovereign and Maiden to convert the energy.
We have a winner! However, the first plan failed when the Sovereign was overwhelmed and became frenzied. The reason for that is because the Maiden lost control. I'm told he slaughtered many Renans in Helganquil that day. For the next plan, we tried to recreate the Renaissance, but we didn't have nearly enough of the other non-dark astral energy types. To amend that, we set our sights on Dana, and implemented a system whereby we could extract energy from it.
And the crown contest began.
Correct. Since the Maiden had been the failing point in the previous plan, it was decided to replace her role with machinery to avoid further mishaps. A new Sovereign had to be made as well. It was such tremendously difficult work, its success was dubious. But from the look of things, it would appear such worries were unfounded.
So that's what the purpose of that room we found in the Forbidden Zone was.
What about the flower that sprouted from Rena?
Flower? Oh, that thing. That's the physical manifestation of all the astral energy that's been harvested from Dana. As I'm sure you've noticed, it's quite a lot of energy. At this point, it's likely that it's become physically integrated with Rena's planetary structure.
Hevric 35 mentioned that the spirit channeling plan is entering its final stage. Is that true?
It is. I never thought I would live to see the day with my own eyes, and yet here we are. Are we done talking now? If it's all the same to you, I'd really rather not miss anything that's about to happen.
He talks like the potential end of the world is just another day on the job.
You've got to remember that these guys have been living alone up here for a long time. Who knows what shape their minds are in?
It feels like our whole world has been turned upside down. Is there anything we know that's still true at this point?
Seriously, I'm still trying to process the fact that we Renans were created by the Helganquil, let alone the Sovereign and Maiden stuff.
Let's take a moment to gather ourselves. I know all of this is a lot to believe and take in, but I think it's fair to say that we've found the answers we've been looking for. Does everyone agree?
Agreed. Though I'll admit that I never expected it to all boil down to Rena's great spirit being behind everything.
Everything that's happened, everything we've endured, it's all because of astral energy.
And to get that energy, the Great Spirit took control of the Helganquil. Then the Helganquil created the Renans, who went on to invade and rule over the Danans.
Plus, the reason the Great Spirit can't directly control the Renans as well is likely because they were originally Danans all along.
Either way, I think it's fair to say we've all had a lot to take in at once. Maybe too much, even. We should probably take it easy and rest our minds a bit. Why don't we all take some time to think things over before we decide on our next move?
That's a good idea, Kisara. If the Renan Great Spirit really is behind all this, then we've got a really big fight ahead of us. Because it's not just Dana on the line, but Rena too. If we're going to do this, we need to be completely sure of ourselves. So let's go ahead and break off for now. We aren't in any immediate danger, so we should be okay. You sure you don't want to be alone right now?
I could ask you the same question.
I figured I'd get all my thinking in while walking around and checking up on everybody.
I'll go along with you. I'm interested to hear what's on everyone's minds, too.
Sounds good. Let's go find them.
Everyone's just gone their own way, huh?
Yeah, let's hit up each spot. Everything we thought we knew, it was all just a fabrication that the Red Women, no, that the Helganquil made up.
Right. Assuming we can believe anything that Hevric 35 has told us, that is.
Well, if the names are anything to go by, it's possible the Helganquil could be behind the fruits of Helgen too.
But if Hevric 35 was telling the truth, and this was all just one massive lie, does that mean everything we've done up until now has been pointless?
No, I don't think so. Or at least I hope not. I think it just means we've lost our foothold for now. That's all.
Really? Well then, if we've lost it, I guess we'll just have to find another. All of us together. And if we can't find one, then we'll make a new one. End of story.
Make one, huh? I see. Right then. Count me in.
Oh, it's you two. Does he seem like he's doing any better now?
He who? Oh, you mean Doherty, don't you?
I know that we're all struggling to wrap our minds around it all, but he looked like he was taking it really hard earlier.
What do you think about everything we've learned? About the Renans, the Great Spirit, and all that?
On some level, I'm not even really sure what to think, to be honest. I mean, the Great Spirit is like a huge natural disaster, but with a mind and will of its own. But if that thing's hellbent on trying to destroy our planet, then the only thing left for us to do is stop it. As for the Renans, I suppose my feelings on that are a bit more mixed.
How so?
Coexistence between Danans and Renans in Menancia is still a work in progress. In my case, I think that's partly because deep down, I was still on guard around Renans. So, to be told that they're like us, that they're actually just like us is, well, I guess it's a little deflating, to be honest.
You kept a pretty level head.
You mean about the Renans? At the end of the day, the Helganquil and the Great Spirit are the ones who are responsible. But at the same time, I realize that not every Danan is necessarily going to believe that either.
I know you're already aware of this, but the list of grievances the Danans have against the Renans is long, and understandably so. And if people then find out that they're all actually one and the same, yeah, I don't think they're going to take to it too kindly.
Even just among the Danans, I'm sure there'll be some who emerge with power and some who won't. I think if we can find a way to get rid of that imbalance, then we'll be in a truly good place.
Well, first we can try to figure out what to do about the existing conflicts we have.
Yeah. It'd be nice if one day people could learn to get past their hatred like Rinwell did.
It's no small task. We can't pretend like the past didn't happen and ask people to forget their very real pain and suffering.
Right. Everybody has their reasons for feeling the way that they do. But if we just keep yelling at each other about it, we'll never move on. In a worst-case scenario, it might lead to even more people getting killed.
And we all have to figure out how to meet halfway. Not just that, but to also embrace each other's pain in a sense.
That's an interesting way of putting it.
It's true. Everybody has their own scars, their own trauma. The first step to healing those wounds is to put aside that hatred. It won't be achieved through reasoning, but I think it's a good first step, if nothing else. And now, I think I see a way to move forward. But to do that, first we need to make sure our planet isn't going to get wiped out.
You both seem awfully calm.
Only because after everything we've seen, we don't have the energy to keep being shocked.
How are you holding up, Rinwell? That whole talk about the Renans looked like it shook you up a bit.
Yeah. I get this sinking feeling whenever I remember how Danan mages like my family were persecuted and died out. And now, I finally know why that is. But I was thinking, if Renans end up living together with Danans again, then mages won't be such an unusual thing to see on Dana anymore, right? I know it's not as simple as all that, but Danans probably won't be so quick to let their guards down. And there might be Renans who still act superior because of their arts.
It wouldn't surprise me. 300 years of bad blood and prejudice isn't going to be an easy thing to overcome.
Yeah. I know firsthand just how much hatred can take hold in your heart once you let it in. But even so, I was still able to change. And if I can change, so can anyone else. So I was thinking maybe, I don't know, I could use my position as both a Danan and a mage to help bring both sides together.
Rinwell.
That great spirit worries me too, though. Dana's will feels so warm and inviting. So why is Rena's will trying to destroy our entire planet?
Now that you mention it, Everett 35 and the other scientists here never really brought that up. Maybe they don't know either.
Maybe. But regardless, at the end of the day, Dana's still our home. There's no way we can let it be destroyed.
We won't. We'll keep it safe no matter what.
I still can't believe it, man.
You're not the only one still trying to make sense of all this. Believe me.
Really? You've never struck me as the type of guy to get hung up on these sorts of things.
Did you forget what happened back in Thistleton? Once my memories started coming back to me, I felt completely and totally lost.
It was really that bad for you?
Yeah, it was. But thanks to Law and everybody else, I remembered that I still had things out there worth fighting for.
Man, I think you might be a better guy than me, Alphen. All I can remember thinking was, when's this guy gonna get his act together?
Law.
I was too worried about repeating the same mistakes I'd made back with my dad, and running away from the truth. That was no way to live. And I've tried to stay strong, my way. But all this talk about other races and the world ending, if I can be honest with you guys, it's just all too much for me to handle right now.
I know this is going to sound strange coming from me, but maybe the key is not to worry too much about the big stuff right now.
Oh?
I used to worry all the time about my thorns, for obvious reasons, but I never really opened up to anyone about them. And when I realized my visions pointed to a threat that was bigger than me, I didn't know what I should do, or who to tell. But that's when I finally got it. You guys were all there for me, to teach me what's really important. I just had to open up and listen.
In other words, if you let the big picture stuff get you all muddled up inside, you'll begin to lose sight of what you really care about. Yeah, I think you're right.
The thing that's most important, what I really care about. All I want to do is protect the people that really matter to me, to fight for them. That's good enough, right?
Not everyone is strong enough to fight.
Huh?
It's something your dad told me once when he was still alive. Law, you know you're strong enough to fight, and you're strong enough to protect the people you care about. Forget all the big stuff going on. Just don't lose sight of what you want to protect in the first place. Sound good?
Yeah, I think it does. It's like a big weight's been lifted off my shoulders. I'll fight to protect the people around me. Just like I always have. I think that's best.
I apologize for making you witness that.
You mean hearing the origins of the Renans?
Indeed. It's shocking to have so many things I thought to be indelible fade away in mere seconds.
Even I'm still not sure everything we've heard here is actually true.
Let's not delude ourselves. If what we've heard is a lie, it's a rather elaborate one. I can only imagine that you must have been constantly feeling like this, ever since your memory returned, Alphen. And you as well, Shion. About your thorns, and being a maiden.
That's just part of being alive, don't you think?
Well, to say the least. But enough about me. I'm not concerned for myself. What concerns me is all of the other Renans out there.
When you say the other Renans, you mean the ones that are living on Lenegis or Dana, right?
Correct. Even if we stop the Great Spirit from annihilating Dana, our problems will still remain. Putting aside the untold state that Rena may be in, if we do not truly belong there, we will have to think long and hard about where it is that we wish to return to.
So, I guess your only real choices at this point are to either stay on Lenegis, or come down to Dana, huh? And right now, Lenegis might not even be a safe option.
And at the same time, Danans are hardly likely to embrace Renans with open arms. If the issue is forced, things could turn dire. There is, after all, 3 centuries worth of hatred to overcome between us. And the victims of our rule have absolutely every right to feel animosity towards us Renans. Our own circumstances as the aggressors are irrelevant.
I didn't expect the former Lord of Menancia to be so down about people reconciling.
Menancia's fate was a stroke of good luck. There had been backlash over how it had been ruled, and I was blessed to have sympathizers among my ranks. Still, even now, there remain ardent dissidents.
But things can still change if you have the right people to help lead the way. Isn't that what you hope to achieve on Lenegis, after this is all over?
Indeed. I have fully accepted the burden of that responsibility. In that regard, I remain determined. On that note, I have something of a favor to ask of you, Alphen.
Oh? What is it?
I wish for you to serve as a mediator, so that the Renans can live on Dana peaceably. As the one and only blazing sword, I suspect the Danans may listen to what you have to say when problems arise.
And I take it that you'll be the one to represent the Renans?
Yes. I realize that I'm asking quite a lot of you. However, the The fact of the matter is that it will take time for Renans to re-enter Danon society without any bloodshed. That is why.
You're the same as ever, Dohalim.
Is it too much?
No, relax. You get so tense and formal when you're asking for a favor. Listen, there's no need for that. We're friends.
You're too kind. I can see you were raised well.
That's some high praise, Alphen.
Then I'll ask once again, this time just as friends. Alphen, will you help me?
You don't even need to ask. Of course I will.
Thank you, my friend.
Well, it sounds like everyone's learning from their past and using it to create a better future for everyone.
What about you, Shion? How do you feel about the origin of the Renans?
To be honest, I'm not really all that shocked, actually. I mean, I might be a Renan in the literal sense, but I've never really felt like one of them. Right now, it's kind of a mystery.
How do you mean?
Because for a really, really long time, all I ever thought about was how I was going to die. Not if or when, but how. I thought I'd die alone. That fate had me in its steely grip. I would have never imagined that I'd be traveling with someone like you, fighting to save Rena and Dana. I mean, how could I have? It's been going on for 300 years. All this tragedy and destruction. When you consider the Helganquil's part in all this, it's been even longer than that. It was Naori's hope that somehow, someone in the future would be able to stop it before it was too late. How it fell on us, of all people, to heed that call is a mystery.
I don't think Naori was hoping that we would just stop the world from getting destroyed. She considered me, a Danon, as a real person. And she very much cherished her own people, too. I don't think she wanted the world to be saved, just so we could go back to hurting each other. Ah, maybe this is what she meant.
Huh?
When we were talking to Kisara earlier, about all that stuff like everyone's needing to meet halfway and embrace each other's pain and suffering. She said that the first step down that path was for each of us to put aside our own hatred. That means forgiving other people, even and especially before they forgive you.
Forgiving. So it goes both ways, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I don't just mean forgiving things that happened in the past either. Conflicts will keep happening. If we have any hope of moving on and building a better future, we have to all learn to forgive each other.
You know, you're right. People can hurt one another without even meaning to. I know that better than most, thanks to these thorns.
It's not going to be easy getting past this pain. But if we can do it, I'm sure there will come a time when we can all truly understand each other. I'm there with you, Shion. I too want to protect the world we live in, and all the people we care about. I think that's the very least I can do to repay Naori for everything that she did.
Yeah. I want a future that she would feel proud to live in, and I'm going to fight for it.
Whoa there, Savior Girl. We're here to save you too, you know.
Yes, I know. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I want to live, and that's the honest truth.
Well, is everybody ready to do what needs to be done?
I am. There's a lot to think about, but at the end of the day, Dan is still in danger. I don't care who we're up against. We'll kick their ass.
What are your thoughts, Alphen? I want to know what's on your mind, too.
Like Law said, if we have to fight the Great Spirit on Rena, then so be it. It's trying to rob us of our entire world. And it's going to take not just our home, but all of existence along with it. That alone is enough to make it our enemy. But it's not only that. One way or another, I think beating the Great Spirit is going to be tied to us saving Xion.
You're saying there's a chance?
You're referring to the vision of destruction we all saw in Lenegis, I take it?
Yeah. 3 centuries ago, the astral energy that appeared at the spirit channeling ceremony showed Naori that vision. And to hear Xion tell it, it's the same one that she sees from her own thorns as well.
Indeed. Xion's thorns are comprised of dark astral energy, the one type which we know is native only to Rena. And if Rena's great spirit is what's behind Dana's pending destruction, then...
Xion's thorns are the Great Spirit? It's not actually on Rena like we thought?
We don't know anything for certain. At the very least, though, I think it's possible her thorns are a part of the Great Spirit.
While the main body resides in Rena.
Xion.
If these thorns really are a part of Rena's great spirit, I'm going to go over there and give it a piece of my mind and then some.
The question is, how do we confront it? Suffice it to say, that flower growing out of Rena is enormous, large enough to house the will of an entire planet. The Wedge and Lenegis were both hard enough for us to overcome in their own right. This is an altogether greater challenge for merely 6.
And we only know about the Thorns' connection thanks to Naori.
Everett 35 has been observing the Great Astral Spirit this whole time. It wouldn't ask us to fight it unless it has a plan of some sort. Let's go see what that is.
So if the Sovereign and Maiden were originally boot-up programs for Lenegis, what about now?
Even with the Forbidden Zone in ruins and the Renaissance stolen, Lenegis is functioning fine. If it needed us before, it doesn't appear to now.
First they lumber you with a position you never asked for, then you're discarded like you're nothing? Who the hell do they think they are?
More importantly, who do they think we are? We might not even factor into their list of concerns.
I just hope everyone on Lenegis is safe.
Worst comes to worst, Lenegis is equipped with a large number of starships that people can escape in. As long as the whole satellite doesn't suddenly explode or something, they should be fine.
Wait, explode?
In any case, if we're truly going to make a difference, it's on Rena we're needed, not Lenegis. The people there will be fine, I'm sure of it.
Right.
Do you have your answer for me?
We want to ask something first. You're asking us to fight an entire planet. How exactly do you expect us to do that? You must have something up your sleeve, or else you wouldn't put us up to it.
The great astral spirit is an immense being, but its actual will does not run throughout its entire body. Rather, its will is derived from the core, which supports the rest of the body, and is where its strength is most densely concentrated. Therefore, if you destroy the core, the great spirit shall become unable to maintain sentience and return to being ordinary astral energy.
And how are we supposed to destroy that core?
By using the Renus Alma. You will also need the assistance of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. They are our best tools for suppressing and controlling astral energy. Using their powers, the Maiden shall seal the great astral spirit within her body, and the Sovereign shall wield the power of the Renus Alma to destroy it.
Hold on. That sounds a lot like what Shion described before.
Yeah, killing herself to take out the thorns with her.
She was actually right all along.
By my calculations, your powers combined should be sufficient to destroy the great astral spirit and disperse its energy widely enough to make it difficult to reform.
What will happen to the Maiden once we manage to beat the great astral spirit?
Any matter contained within the field of destruction shall be erased.
So it really will kill me.
This method is the most simple one available to destroy the Great Spirit, and is therefore our most reliable option.
What are our other options?
There is little reason to consider alternative courses of action when the most optimal among them is so clear.
You don't get it. I promised Shion that she wouldn't die, that we'd save the world without needing to sacrifice her. We didn't fight this whole time just to give up on her at the very end. If there's any other way to take out the Great Spirit, I want to hear it.
This plan shall lead to the fewest losses in preserving your world. Abandoning it is irrational. It is vital that you proceed with this plan. A part of Rena's great astral spirit already resides within her. 300 years ago, the Great Spirit descended upon Lenegis in an attempt to assume direct control of the spirit channeling ceremony. We have reason to believe the Great Spirit left part of itself behind, and that it now resides in the Maiden.
Which would make Alphen's earlier hypothesis correct.
That part inside the Maiden belongs to the core, and can be used by the great astral spirit to revive itself. So long as it remains, it will be all but impossible to fully eradicate the Great Spirit. That is why it is necessary for it to be vanquished only once it is whole. Without the Maiden's direct control over the Great Spirit, attacking it is futile, and will only serve to strengthen it.
No.
Wait. Naori said that the Renus Alma can suppress the self-realization of astral energy, and that the thorns can be neutralized by placing them in it. If so, can't the same also be done to the Great Spirit, seeing as the thorns are simply part of it?
Well, can it?
It is true that the Renus Alma is capable of what you suggest, and could contain the great astral spirit.
Yes!
However, doing so requires fine control on the level of the spirit channeling ceremony, considering that the Renus Alma was previously lost when that ceremony failed. I cannot allow it. Its uncertainty is simply too great.
What does that mean for us if you won't allow it?
Your starship will not be restored, and you will all be unable to leave here.
Why you?
Fine, man. I'd rather stay here and rot than do it your way.
Alpha?
Whatever we do, if we mess up, Dana's screwed. The Great Spirit will destroy it. If you're fine letting that happen, and we have nothing to gain either way, then I'd rather do nothing. We want to stop Dana from getting destroyed. We want to save it. But not if it means having to sacrifice one of us in the process. If all you're gonna do is sit back and watch us where it's safe, then quit ordering us around and shut up!
Alphen.
What you say is irrational. Be that as it may, I shall accede to your demand.
You'll agree?
I am an observer. The Sovereign, Maiden, and Renis Alma are my species' greatest achievement. I wish to see how well they work against the Great Spirit in light of our demise by its hands.
But what are we supposed to do about the Renis Alma? One of your buddies ran off with it back on Lenegus.
It is likely that the Renis Alma is with the Great Spirit, functioning as a catalyst for it to receive Dana's astral energy.
So our only option to retrieve it is to head straight for the Great Spirit and take it back?
According to my observations, the astral energy is most densely concentrated in the center of Rena, where the Great Spirit's core is located.
So right in the middle of that giant flower, then.
I have one more question. You've said that Rena's great astral spirit is already integrated with the planet. What will happen to Rena once it vanishes?
Without the will of the Great Spirit, Rena is predicted to collapse. Even in such a scenario, the energy will disperse, and the Great Spirit will likely not reform.
So you're saying that even if we manage to beat the Great Spirit without destroying it, we'll still be in danger?
Likely, the collapse will occur in stages. It is recommended that you all escape before the final stage.
Man, I wish that thing would tell it to us straight for once.
Havrik 35 and the others have gotten used to hypothesizing from afar, is all. Fix our starship. We're going to Rena.
Excellent.
But I want to make one thing clear. We're doing this for ourselves, to protect what matters to us. We're not doing it for your sake, or because you told us to. Remember that.
It matters little to me. The end result shall be the same. Repair work on your starship has commenced. You'll have to wait until it's finished.
Man, is it too much to ask for Havrik 35 to talk like a normal person? I swear I can feel my brain starting to fry after listening to all that complicated stuff.
Is the Renis Alma really our only hope against the Great Spirit? There has to be another way, right?
Shion's Fire Master Core was able to suppress astral energy to prevent it from gaining sentience, right? Couldn't we make use of that somehow?
I'm not sure. In small doses, maybe. And with the amount of energy we're talking about here.
Back in Calaglia, the Blazing Sword was able to take in a whole spirit vessel's worth of energy. If it has the capacity to manage that, it can do this, right?
Except after it absorbed the energy, it ended up releasing it all moments later, remember? Let's not forget, it nearly killed you. Besides, this is the Great Spirit we're talking about, not a paltry vessel. Even if I could use the Master Core, your body wouldn't be able to take the strain of channeling that much energy.
Havrik 35 didn't mention it, and it did not seem the type to skimp on details. So assuming it's even possible, the chances are slim to none.
You're probably right.
You still thinking about what the scientists told us? About where Renans really come from?
I am, but not for myself.
You're worried about the future of the Renan people.
The fact that our people have been the same this whole time will only give the Danans further reason to resent us.
But you still intend to confront this truth head on, don't you?
Well, I did declare that I would live my life for the living, and not the dead. Even as I dream of retirement, I shall remain dedicated to the cause.
I'm sure you'll do great.
Now that I think about it, I don't believe I've ever heard you criticize or reproach us Renans even once.
I'm no saint. I have skeletons in my closet too. There was definitely a time when I hated Renans for who they were. I hated them just for being Renan. But you changed that, Dohalim. You gave me an opportunity to see them in a different light. Thanks to your reforms, we were able to stand next to Renans not as slaves, but as equals for the first time in our lives. Of course, I'm sure there were some Renans who still hated us on the inside. But we knew that not all of you were like that. There were those of you who were good, and that was a start. When it comes down to it, Renans are just people. They can be good or bad, just like Danans.
That is, in essence, the heart of your approach, isn't it? That we're all people.
Yeah, it is. When you can pull someone aside and talk to them one-on-one, then you have the chance to come to an understanding. But as soon as you stereotype, that chance goes away, and you stop thinking of them as people that you can relate to.
I understand what you're saying, but we're talking about massive numbers of Renans and Danans alike. Realistically speaking, surely they won't all be able to get along.
Even if we end up butting heads with one person, maybe we'll find better luck among their friends. If we can build a society that works like that, that'll be something worth nurturing and protecting.
So you wish for people to form real bonds and do away with the hierarchy outright? To deal with one another as humans, and nothing more? That's the ideal future you hope to see when this is all over?
Yes, I do. I think it would make for a fine tribute to my brother's legacy. Though, that said, I would be doing it for the people of the future first and foremost. Do you still plan to return to Lenegis when this is over?
Indeed I do. I don't know whether I'll be able to reside in Lenegis proper, however. My first order of business may be to find somewhere to live.
You'll always have a home in Menancia, you know.
As I shall ever keep in mind.
Well, if you ever need a helping hand, don't hesitate to come get me. I'll always be there for you, Doe.
Did you just... Never mind. Thank you, Kisara. I appreciate your patience as I work all this out.
Don't even mention it. And really, when you think about it, now that we know the two of us aren't so different after all, don't you think that brings down a barrier that used to be between us?
You know, I hadn't actually thought of it that way before. But I do like the sound of it.
Yeah, I think I do too.
Hey, why'd you call me here? Was there something you wanted to talk about?
Well, if everything we've heard about the Great Spirit is true, then we're getting close to our final battle. So I wanted to apologize while I can.
Apologize? For what?
I was being real stupid before, about whether Dana's will had been controlling us and all that. I get why you're angry now. Anybody would be if something they trusted was being questioned. So, I'm sorry, Rinwell. Really. I should have kept my mouth shut.
No, Law. Honestly, I think you might have been onto something. Of course you were worried. Who wouldn't be if they found out there might be some invisible force pulling our strings this whole time?
But you really trust Dana's will, don't you? Is it because you can sense it a lot more than the rest of us? Because you can understand it?
Yeah, I think that might be part of it. But I think I also want to believe it's good.
Believe?
Remember how I used to really resent coming from a family of mages?
Yeah, of course. Because you were always on the run and had to live in hiding.
When we rescued Zephyr and I finally decided to come along with you all, something changed inside me. It was the first time I felt like my powers had any meaning, even if that meaning was only helping you guys fight. Then, when I felt Dana's will, I was overwhelmed by how vast and warm it was. It made me want to believe my powers were made to connect with it. It made me believe I had a bigger purpose.
So that's why you hope it doesn't turn out to be bad. You almost need it to be kind.
Yeah.
Well, alright. Then I promise I'll lay off bad-mouthing it.
You will?
There's no way for me to know for sure one way or the other, right? But you trust it, Rinwell, and that's enough for me. So I'll trust it because you do.
Remember what I said about neither planet's great spirit reaching us here?
Yeah?
That's not quite true. I can feel just a little bit of Rena's inside you and everyone else.
You... what?
I sensed it when we first got here. It's a really small amount, so it doesn't feel like it has a will of its own. But I think that's how Dana's energy probably is too.
So you're saying there's a little bit of Dana's will inside each of us? In a way, doesn't that mean we're all Dana's will?
What?
Well, like you said, unless Dana's energy comes together, it has no will. So if we all have a little bit of Dana's astral energy inside us...
Yeah, maybe.
Everett 35 might know the answer. But, you know what? I don't need to ask it. My will is my own. I fight for who I want to fight for. That's who I am now. Who I've become. So thanks, Rinwell, for sharing that with me. To be honest, the only reason I was suspicious of Dana's will... well, I mean, it mostly was... I feel like you and I had grown apart lately, and I was worried it was because...
Huh?
Never mind. Nothing. Just forget about it.
Huh? No, what were you saying?
Saying? I don't remember saying anything.
Now you won't tell me what you were thinking?
That's not what I'm saying.
Then spit it out already.
Are you sure you don't want to get some rest?
I can't. I've got too much on my mind. Especially knowing how close our last battle is. How are you doing, Xion?
Same as you, still trying to absorb everything.
Remember when it was so simple? We were only fighting all the lords on Dana? All of that feels like a lifetime ago, doesn't it?
Ages and ages ago. Everything that's happened since we first met. So many fights, so much chaos, so many wonderful people.
If I hadn't run into you that day, well, I wouldn't have met all of you. I never would have held the blazing sword or looked for something more. I wouldn't have my memories back. I'd still be a faceless slave, like as not long dead.
Hey, Alphen. I want you to promise me something.
Yeah?
If we can't find the Rena's Alma, there's something I want you to do. Like Hevrek 35 said, the only way we can end the Great Spirit for good is to go after both the main body in Rena and the thorns in me. I need you to promise me, Alphen, that if for some reason we can't get the Rena's Alma back, you'll use the Blazing Sword to destroy the Great Spirit, and me along with it.
Huh?
It's true the Blazing Sword may not have the strength of the Rena's Alma, but it's taken us this far. It's slain lords and beasts. At the very least, it has to be worth a try.
You can't be serious. Have you forgotten everything that we...
The Great Spirit isn't just our problem. It's a threat to our entire world. Renans and Danans alike. We don't know what's going to happen when we face it, but we need to be prepared for anything. We can't second-guess ourselves when the time comes. I promise you, I'm not planning on going anywhere. I'm prepared to fight with absolutely everything I've got. But if it comes down to it, I need you to be prepared too.
Okay. But you should know that I'm not going to give up on your shield. I'm going to fight this until the very end. I hope you can forgive me for that.
Alphen. Okay, I understand. And I'll forgive you.
Thank you, Xian.
So it's a promise then?
Yeah, it's a promise.
I remember how I felt the first time you touched me. My thorns made any contact a mistake no one would ever make twice. After they'd seen what could happen, fear would always linger behind their eyes. In my entire life, I never had someone willingly reach out to me. But when you reached out to me and gently took my hand, you didn't react at all. It was so easy for you. I don't have words for the shock I felt in that moment.
That's because I couldn't feel pain back then.
Even once you could, though, you still chose to keep reaching out to me. And when you did, I felt this warmth that I had never known before. But still, I hate having to see you suffer through it every time you do.
You won't have to worry about that for much longer.
You think so?
I do, because Xian,
No. You can tell me once my thorns are gone. Okay?
Yeah. Okay. Everybody get enough rest? You ready for this?
Yeah, we should probably get moving.
Agreed. Can't stand around waiting all day.
Our task is relatively straightforward. We need only descend down to Rena, defeat the Great Spirit, and restore stability to both worlds.
We're fighting for a new future for both Dana and Rena.
Right. We've come this far. We will save our worlds. That's a promise.
Then let's go, everybody. We've got one last wall to tear down.
Repairs on your starship are complete. Everything is in working order.
Is that you, Hevrek 35? You can see us from where you are?
I can. I can see anywhere within the bounds of Dake Phaser.
Sounds like someone's a peeping Tom.
Maybe we should give Hevrek 35 a break. It has been stuck in this tiny facility for a very, very long time.
I have unlocked all functions on your starship. You can now make use of its warp drive.
Warp drive? Wait, you mean like what the Red Women used on us? What brought us here?
It's possible that the Red Women may have found a way to activate it on the starship. They are Helganquil, after all.
Using the warp drive, you should be able to breach Rena's atmosphere without being detected.
Wait, should?
You'll need to be careful. Due to the force field surrounding Rena, the ship will be unable to go any further than the surface of the planet.
So, once we reach the shell, it appears we'll have to infiltrate the core by foot. Understood.
We gotta go all the way down just walking?
Will all the Helganquil go back to normal once we defeat the Great Spirit? I have a strange feeling we're going to have to fight them before this is all over.
The extinction of my people is inevitable at this stage. As such, it would be illogical to risk the success of the mission in a vain attempt to save my kind.
We understand.
Can't that thing lighten up a bit? Everything it says seems to be about what's illogical.
Well, come on, Joe.
Hold up, did you just...
You heard the lady. Get going.
I have one last question.
What?
As Sovereign, your identification number indicates that you are well past your predicted life expectancy. Similarly, the Maiden lacks any identification number, as her function should have been rendered unnecessary. Despite this, the two of you continue to exist. Why?
We exist because others have entrusted this to us. Over the years, many people have come together and sworn to see this through to the end.
You mean it is because of multiple chance interactions? The likelihood of such events is statistically improbable. Why have you two continued to persist under these conditions?
It's hard to explain. To be honest, I don't think it's something an observer could understand. All right, time to get back on the phone nights.
It would appear that our Helganquil host really has fulfilled its end of the bargain.
You know what that means. Time to go to Rena.
I guess this means we should give that warp drive a spin.
There's nothing here. This weird ocean we're surrounded by just stretches out everywhere. Is this really where the Helganquil come from?
I don't sense even a trace of astral energy. This world is dead.
Then this must be the Holloway.
You mean to tell me this whole world, the entire ocean is that stuff?
And it's covering everything. The entire planet.
This is what the Great Spirit does. After it depleted this planet of every last speck of astral energy, it went after Dana.
So arresting. This world of doom.
Back in its day, Rena was probably just as vibrant as Dana is. But after being robbed of its astral energy for so long, those days are gone and past. This is all that will remain.
So the Great Spirit took everything. It stole energy not just from living beings, but the land, the sea, everything.
And it bound the Helganquil in servitude until their whole world was nothing but this. And by the looks of it, that's how it remains to this day. A world of death and emptiness.
With nothing left here to consume, the Great Spirit turned its sights on Dana, looking for another host.
You're saying if we don't stop it, this is what Dana's going to look like?
We can be sure that even these few remaining remnants of Renan life will not be spared in the end.
If the oblivion and darkness both Shion and Naori saw comes to pass, nothing will survive. It looks like we can climb down from there. Let's take a look.
So this is Rena. This is where everything began. Yet it's a dead... world?
A hollowed ocean as far as the eye can see. What do you think would happen if we fell in?
What do you mean, what would happen? You'd drown, wouldn't you?
Come to think of it, I don't believe I've heard of someone ever trying. Perhaps you'd like the glory of being the first?
No, I'll pass.
This is essentially a world-sized Renan graveyard. Are you proposing to disturb the dead slumber just to satisfy your curiosity, Lol?
No, because I said I passed.
Taking an interest is understandable, but let's not forget where we are. This place deserves our respect.
Looks like we're not going to be hearing the end of this one for a while.
You'd think I was already snorkeling in it or something. So the idea is to seal the Great Spirit inside the Renaissance using the Sovereign and Maiden's power. But just how do we do that exactly?
I'm guessing it won't be as easy as holding a spirit channeling ceremony at our leisure.
I already had wielded astral energy once 3 centuries ago. As for suppressing the thorns, Shion's had a lifetime's experience. The problem isn't just our enemy's strength, it's that it's sentient too. And you can bet anything you like it's not going to just sit back and let us destroy it.
In other words, we need to find some way to weaken it in advance. The Great Spirit, that is.
Back when Shion's thorns flew out of control, we were able to deal with them directly. If this is their host, they should be even more corporeal here.
If that's the case, it should make them easier to attack at least. And if we can manage to divert enough energy away from the spirit's core, even temporarily,
we might just be able to weaken it enough to steal the Renaissance, which we can then use to seal it away forever. It won't be easy, but it's our only shot. Time to buckle up. Question for you. Let's say, knock on wood, everything turns out for the best.
What'll the world be like? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of this, do you really think everything will be that different?
A lot will have to change, that's for sure. The world will have to adjust to so much. My only worry is if those changes turn out to be merely skin deep.
What do you mean?
It's well and good putting an end to Renan rule. But if it just turns the tables, it's all for naught.
That's true. Just as bad if the Danans started pressing their own.
Renans, Danans, astral art users, mages. The world is full of labels used to divide and separate people.
If only we could see differences like that for what they are. No different to someone having a musical talent or being good with their hands. Not differences so much as characteristics.
It will take someone in power to set an example. But with time, people will follow. And then, perhaps one day...
There will no longer be any need for the example. It will have become second nature.
That's where we come in. We can set the example. Imagine it. A world where magic and astral arts are used to help people. Where that's the norm rather than the exception.
Yeah, you're right, Rinwell. Why wait for somebody else? We can show them ourselves.
That was quite the little adventure we went on.
Hey! Hey, I just realized something!
Is this about dinner last night? I didn't realize those ingredients were off.
What?
Rinwell.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
I don't know.
You don't think
Can't say I'd ever...
connect?
Okay.
Huh.
It would meet...
Nah.
Get him, Hoodle.
Ah!
Oh!
Ow! You know, God,
You can...
isn't it...
Certainly in...
The only thing...
There's also...
Exterm...
What do you mean?
Zoogl's are...
You're right.
First people made...
I hope...
It's a nice thought.
Aside from...
If we
Well... Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
Little help!
Take this!
Flame!
Burn in hell!
Wind astral
Sword Rain
energy!
Alpha!
Lunar Blue! These ones can run rings around us!
Sword Rain Alpha! Demon Fang! Too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Sword Rain Alpha!
Astral energy!
Say no more! Got!
Well done!
Here I come!
You are in tip-top shape.
Soon as I'm done here, come help out.
How could a girl ever say no?
As impressive as always.
Here I hope there was improvement.
No, I mean, you're even better than ever.
I've never seen Xion actually look so good.
In an instant! Impact block!
This should come in handy when crafting weapons.
Little help!
You picked the wrong fight!
We master energy! Annihilation!
Sword Rain Alpha!
I think I'll pass on the energy.
Far enough! My head's spinning just watching you! Down! You're all
Get out of sight! Here I come!
This one's mine! I can carve through armor!
Charge like that could easily be fatal.
Just as well, I'm here to stop! Piercing roar!
Demon Fang!
I'll heal you all! Crescent move!
It's on! You're mine! Burn in hell!
Thanks! Thanks for the healing.
Watch it, okay?
Yeah, you too. I'm out of ammo. Flaming meteor!
Now we're never... You're mine!
Shattering lightning! Where are you going? How do you like being pounded into shape?
Escape!
What mind if I do? End of game.
Can't get out of this!
Ready to go!
Take this! You'll pay for that!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flares of Malika! I'll bring you back from the exit! There are for interrupting!
Burn in hell!
And water blast!
Go in! Gate!
Graviton field!
Lightning
Blew
strike!
away!
Radiant hurricane strike! Lightning orb! Searing death is the win! My
Take
will!
this!
Arts require complete focus!
Sword Rain Alpha!
You require in a bind?
Failure not safe!
Raining Slip!
Denied!
Steel Mega Ray! I'll take it from here. Let's see how you handle this! Deus Roar! Lunar Corruption!
By the power of water!
Air Thrust!
you! Hurricane Thrust! Hurricane Thrust!
Magic is Air Thrust!
Here, let me help!
The flaming fight is yours to be let free!
Appreciate the help!
Sword Rain Alpha!
One astral energy! Gemini Alpha!
Blow away!
Hurricane Thrust! That'll bring you down! I'll take you all on! Ha! Flares of Malika!
I'll
Make it rain!
Remove!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
With this, I can become even stronger. Let's dispose of the trash.
In a bind?
Here goes!
What? Yumi,
To stop you dying? It's like trying to keep up with a wall!
armor won't save you!
Mega Ray! Lightning!
Try harder! Sword Rain Alpha! No further!
Here, let me help! First aid!
Thank you for all your help.
Please, don't mention it.
I'm glad to know someone's got my back.
My turn! Sword Rain Alpha! Eat this!
I'm ready!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
In an instant! Impact block! Not a chance!
I'm all stuffed up!
Here I come!
Hurricane Strike!
Here I go!
Lightning Strike!
Steel Force!
Hurricane
Sword Rain Alpha!
Now!
Remove!
Astral energy!
Say no more! Got!
Well done!
Here I come!
This one's mine!
Anything in armor is all mine!
Sword Rain Alpha! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Well then, Let's keep moving.
Seriously? Is this a joke?
Engaging!
So much for talking it out.
I'll smash you!
Radiant, come here! Hey, breaking orb!
Far enough!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Air Blazer!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Prepare to be sealed! Aw, too shy to come over! Here, give me help!
Do it! Astral energy!
Say no more! Got it!
Well done!
Take this! It's on!
Look sharp!
Just what I need!
Prepare to be sealed. Actually, perhaps sound is more appropriate.
Less talking, more doing!
Fire support!
Here's the evil! In here! Get on in there with the others! Blah, blah, blah,
Sword Rain Alpha!
No further!
Time to shine!
I don't know what I'd do without you.
Make it ready!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
There you go, Elvin!
It's time to end this battle!
I'm right beside you!
Here I come!
Annihilation! Here!
Look sharp!
Fury! Burning!
Sword Rain Alpha!
It's just a one! Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
That was quite the little adventure we went on.
You picked the wrong fight!
Going in! Mega
Sword
Ray!
Rain Alpha! Demon Pack!
This one's ready! Make it ready!
This one, in an instant! Impact Block! Not a chance!
Curse in the wind!
Hurricane
More for the stockpile! Well, looky here!
Can't get out of this!
Radiant
Demon Pack! Sword Rain Alpha!
Whatever you do, just stay away from the sport! Tiger Blood Annihilation! Mega Ray!
No escape!
Look sharp! Here's a
Try harder! My turn!
Hurricane Strike!
Eat dirt! Take this! No escape!
Sweet mouth!
Do it! Be careful not to...
In an instant! Impact Block!
Let's keep our eyes on the prize.
Seriously? Is this a joke? Like moths to the flame.
Dance in the wind! Steel! They may look cute to us, but they're vicious! Lightning Rebound!
Pesky airborne scoundrels.
Sounds like a job for yours truly.
Demon Pack!
Radiant Blood! Now!
Inferno Crossing! Blow away!
Back into the flame!
Dragon swarm!
Annihilate!
I'll burn it all! Flaming pillar! Fire! Struck! Sword rain out!
Leave the enemy's arc to me.
Demon fang! No control
Here,
here!
your arc. Here I come.
Take this!
In here.
I owe you one.
I'll be saving you.
Blow away! I'm not done!
It's
Sword rain out!
now. You're watching.
Lunar Eye!
Air thrust.
Sometimes I wonder where you come up with those moves.
I could say the same to you.
Good thing we're on the same side, huh?
No further!
Here I come! You picked the wrong fight! Sword rain alpha!
This one's mine!
Blow away!
Get behind me!
Sword rain alpha!
You are in tip-top shape.
As soon as I'm done here, come help out.
How could a girl ever say no?
As impressive as always.
Now!
Here I look over.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Could have been worse.
No choice! Here I come!
There! Watch out!
Not today!
Mega ray!
Sword rain alpha!
In a bind?
No matter what, nothing gets past my shield. Denied!
Demon fang! Sword rain alpha!
Hurricane thrust! This one's mine!
Here I come! Eat this!
Hurricane thrust!
Cascade! Not on my watch! Healing circle!
Thanks, Shion.
Blow away!
And just like that, I'm back in it. Start by holding the front line. No sooner said than done.
Smash you!
Annihilation!
You made me angry. That was a bad idea.
Raining flash! Blow away!
Here's evil!
In a bind?
Struck!
This one's mine.
The flame inside me is yours to be let free!
Shield and make it rain.
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone.
Did it!
Yeah. Nice technique.
Escape!
Owl.
Mirage!
Leave the charge stop.
Take this! I'm not done! You're finished!
Glacier Field.
Here's evil!
Inferno Crossing.
Freeze Lancer!
Their arcs were interrupted.
Demon fang!
Arnex!
Inferno Crossing.
Sword rain alpha!
Look sharp.
Here!
Light out the door.
No escape!
So much!
Raining flash!
Photon!
Prepare
Do
to
it!
be
In the wind!
off! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
No further!
Here goes.
Blow away!
Armor won't save you. Flaming meteor.
Eat dirt! You're mine!
That'll bring you down.
No escape!
Hurricane
Blow
Smoke.
away!
Corruption!
Raining
Mind if I
flash!
do?
By the power of water.
Lightning orb! Annihilation!
Blow away!
Raging cascade!
Raining flash!
Now, I'll
No
show you all!
escape!
Going in! Get you all tucked away!
Raining flash!
Healing
This one
circle!
keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. I'll take you all on. Hear my call! Spread!
Showtime! I'm not done!
Here's evil! Photon! Thunderblade!
Sword Rain Alpha! You picked the wrong fight!
Going in!
You're mine!
Inferno Puppet!
Blow away! Law! Look sharp! Lightning Thunderblade!
I'll heal you all!
You're mine!
Raging Sword! Healing Sword!
Here I come!
Why'd you heal me?
Stop you dying?
Right.
Not on my watch!
Take this! Sword Rain Alpha!
Dragon Ball! Lower the hunting line! Hurricane Flame!
Blow away!
Look at this!
Raining Slap! Demon Fang! It's time! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
With your flames and mine... Technique?
We're stronger together than we are apart.
I think Hoodle senses something.
I always love the sound of hammers banging away.
Why are you staring at me?
I could ask the same thing.
So this is how the Sovereign and Maiden are supposed to look. You two go great together.
Law, come stand between us.
I love how much amazing food we get to eat even when we're out on the road.
Me too. Especially compared to what I used to have when I was still a slave. This is paradise.
It's amazing what good food can do to keep your hopes up. Nagal used to say all the time that the power of food is subtle, yet profound.
Yeah, ain't that the truth? For whatever reason, I find I don't worry nearly as much when I've got a full stomach helping me out.
That's why you shouldn't be such a picky eater.
Huh?
She's right. You always leave food that you don't like on your plate when you're done.
Come on, what's the big deal?
Back in the day, I couldn't think about leaving any food. It was such a waste not to eat at all. You needed every last scrap of energy.
Exactly. Even when my brother and I didn't have much to eat, We all did what we could to make it taste good and enjoy what we had.
That definitely explains a lot about why you cook the way you do, Kisara.
Dohalim, I bet you don't know what any of that's like. You must be used to food being handed to you on a silver platter.
Sometimes it was gold.
You didn't shy away from that at all.
Although, there was one experience that does come to mind.
Oh?
When I first learned that the food I ate originally came from animals and fish, I was rather taken aback.
You just ate whatever was in front of you without even thinking about it?
That's a silver spoon elite for you.
Your cooking has really improved, Shion.
It's because of you that I understand what makes it so fun. I'm glad everyone seems to enjoy what I make too.
I've noticed a disturbing trend that after it's your turn to cook, our ingredients tend to run really low. What's up with that?
That is a good point, Law. There's a weird difference between the amount of ingredients she prepares and how much food actually gets served. Curious. Very curious indeed.
I don't know. Isn't it pretty normal for veggies to shrink a little when you fry them up?
Or maybe she eats all the bad batches herself so we won't notice.
Come on, I wouldn't do anything like that.
Then how would you explain the difference?
Ahem. I have a theory that I wish to propose.
What is it?
As we all know, Shion here can have quite the appetite. I imagine she often taste tests her own food as she prepares it. By my eye, it would appear that her footprints are leaving deeper impressions as of late. Far be it from me to level such an accusation, but the facts lead me to conclude that...
She's been snacking while she cooks.
And yet, she still looks so slender in her clothing.
Yeah, I'm kind of envious, actually.
Wait a sec, are you guys trying to say she's...
I'm what?
Nothing?
Nothing. Shion, about that fight just now.
Sorry about that. I was careless.
I didn't come to criticize you. Just please take better care of yourself.
You don't need to worry about me. In case you forgot, I can't exactly die anyway. It's like how you used to not care about getting beat up because you couldn't feel pain, and then I was the one to patch you up. It's the same thing.
You're right. That is how I used to be. But this isn't the same.
Then what do you mean? How is what's happening now different from what happened then?
It's different now.
Look, if you mean because you can feel pain again,
It's because I don't want to see you getting hurt. You're right. When I couldn't feel any pain, I put myself in all sorts of dangerous situations. I didn't listen to anybody's warnings, and I made a lot of people worried for no good reason. It was foolish. This isn't about you and me being able to take pain. I don't want to have to see you get hurt, Shion. It's too much for me to take. Is that a crazy thing to say?
No, it isn't. And I definitely don't like seeing you get hurt either, Alphen. We can't expect our enemies to show us any mercy. But I will do my best not to throw myself in harm's way out there either. How does that sound?
I'm sorry if I sounded harsh earlier. I didn't mean to. I just really want you to take better care of yourself.
I will. At least, for as long as I can.
Whoa!
Shion, could we talk a moment?
I thought you had something to talk about. I was waiting on you.
Not really. Why? Should I leave you alone when I don't?
No, it's fine.
We used to really have to force these conversations when we started talking to each other, didn't we?
To say the least. Hey.
What is it?
Do you think you'd like to make something together?
Make what exactly?
Just if you wanna make dinner together. What did you think I meant?
Huh? Dinner? Oh, dinner! Yes! Yes, of course! Dinner! Right.
What did you think I was talking about?
No, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. Anyway, what did you have in mind?
Well, do you recognize these ingredients?
This is... Wait, is this?
So you remember? That's right. We're going to fix the very first meal we ever had together. Although I remember it not being well received when we had it.
You still remember that, huh? I'm sorry, Shion.
I'm just teasing you, Alphen. I picked this recipe because it's easy to make, and I thought it would be a good choice for dinner, too. Anyway, let's get to work. With both of us making it, we should be finished in no time.
I never thought we'd end up eating alone like this again. Just the two of us.
Yeah. So much has changed when you look back on it. Well, I guess maybe not what we're eating, but still.
No, I'd say even that's changed too, in a sense. Our meals are a whole lot better now.
True. We've both come quite a long way in the culinary arts.
That's not exactly what I mean. How do I put it? It feels like eating together is a lot more enjoyable than it used to be.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Even after our battles are done, when Dana is saved and our mission is finished, we'll probably still be sitting down to dinner like this, night after night.
Yep, I doubt that much will change. You've always got to eat at some point.
I hope our dinners will always feel like this.
Maybe not exactly like this. Hopefully we won't still be camping out.
Oh, no, not at all. I meant in a nice, warm house. One with a roof over our heads and a proper fireplace, instead of an open campfire.
And real chairs instead of these logs. Nice plates and silverware on a big dining table. Oh, and a proper kitchen. That'd be nice too.
And when it's time to fix dinner, we'll be in that kitchen.
Standing side by side.
Whoops. Looks like we made too much. I don't think we'll be able to finish all this.
Yeah, you're right. I'll see if anybody else is still awake. I'd really hate to have to throw it away.
Side by side, huh?
I'm looking forward to breakfast. Did you get enough sleep?
Seriously? Is this a joke?
We did it!
As impressive as all?
Ah, and here I hoped I was improving.
Well, looky here.
Hoo-hoo-hoo!
My word, this must be the work of Providence.
Prava what now?
It means destiny. I think it's a bit of an exaggeration, though.
You finally made it.
Sure is good to be back in the pleasant climes of Menancia. Especially after the extremes of some of the other regions we visited.
Definitely. Your country is beautiful.
You do me an honor. However, this place was never mine to own.
I didn't mean it that way. Though, I guess technically you weren't born here either. Native or not, that doesn't change the feelings you had for the place. If I were you, I'd try to take a little pride in people's compliments.
Allow myself to feel pride, huh? That sounds like no easy task.
Nothing sounds easy when you overthink things the way you do. It must be exhausting.
He's always worrying about something. It's probably what gives him his eye for detail. That's just the way he is.
Yeah, so we'd noticed.
Let's change the subject, shall we? It's a wonder so many things coincided to bring us here. Alphen's awakening, Shion's decision to revolt, the Danon uprising in Calaglia, the crown contest's final, sputtering throws.
Zephyr's being in the right place at the right time, the fact that you happened to be a lord just as this was all going on.
It's almost as if we were brought together by design. By someone who wanted to bring down the system.
No, enough Hand of Destiny talk. We did this on our own steam. It's our responsibility to see it through.
Did Law just utter a pearl of wisdom?
I do think about things, you know. Just what do you take me for exactly?
Honestly, I always sort of pegged you as a likable dolt.
What the hell makes me a dolt, you dolt?
I mean, she did say he was a likable dolt, didn't she?
Let's refrain from poking this particular Zoogle any further. Some lessons just can't be taught.
Not to dolts, anyway.
Hey, Kisara, what's your secret for putting up with Dohalim? I don't know how you managed to deal with him.
Secret? Oh, I don't think it's as...
Could have had me fooled. Anyone who waxes lyrical on the aesthetic qualities of cactus thorns is a step too far for me.
And those poetic flourishes he sneaks into regular conversation? How am I supposed to react?
He likes the sound of his own voice, that's for sure. I say let him have his fun. No need to try and understand anything he says.
Has he always been like that?
He didn't seem as on edge all the time back in Menancia. Though he was my superior back then. So who's to say what I didn't see?
The Lord of Cislodia hid in plain sight while a crony posing as him carried out all his business. What if the Lord we met in Vicente was really...
An imposter? Dohalim? Hardly. Like it or not, that's him all right. In all his flamboyant, circumloquacious glory.
I'd like to see someone try to impersonate that on a daily basis.
Come to think of it, what with being a lord and all, he's probably never had anyone to speak to on an equal basis.
It wouldn't surprise me. Having you guys around, having a family in a way, must be what's helped him change.
A little heads up on some of his eccentricities would have been nice.
It's those eccentricities that make him who he is.
Go no further!
Here I come!
see what I can do.
Hurricane Blast!
You got company!
Lightning!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Thunder!
As it curls up, time to get out of the way.
Ignite!
Make it ready!
Astral energy!
Say no more! Got it!
Well done!
Here!
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me!
Got it! I'll leave it to you!
Sleep
Sword Rain Alpha! Blow
now!
away! Grimma!
Astral energy!
Say no more! None can!
Coming through! Back into the fray!
Blow away!
I can carve through one.
Here I come!
It's almost too strong. Split it open.
Be my guest! Sword Rain Alpha!
Let's keep up the pressure!
Demon Tang!
Make it ready!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
There you go, Alvin!
It's time to end this battle!
I'm right beside you!
Front!
Switch to offense!
Raining Slash!
Now you see what I can do.
Annihilation!
Blow away! Blow away!
Got it! Burning strike! Now what chance?
You're finished! It's time! Sword Rain Alpha! Not a chance! Strike!
Going in!
Raining!
Shattering the pieces.
Attack! Strike!
Sword Rain Alpha! No escape! Blow away!
I'm gone! Hurricane Strike!
Look sharp. Now you see what I can do.
Sword Rain Alpha!
Make it rain!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
You're mine! I'm not done!
Look sharp!
Eat dirt! Sword Rain Alpha!
No more playing nice!
Take this. Take this. I can carve through armor.
Far enough!
I can do this! I just have to get it together! We're right here! We can help you!
Shion's right. You have us to lean on.
You're right! Thanks!
Try harder!
In there!
You're mine! Flame inside me yearns to be let free! Not today!
Glacial spear!
Not a chance! The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Not much longer to go!
Come on, one final push!
Let's do this together!
Down! You're on!
You picked the wrong fight!
Prepare to be sealed. Can't get out of this.
Banana, let's go!
Ready, slash! Blow away!
Thank you!
Ready and ready.
First aid!
Armor won't save you.
I shoot!
Their arts were interrupted!
Try harder!
Burning!
Ready, slash!
Raging cascade!
Blow away!
I'm here!
Sword Rain Alpha! Demon Tang!
Here goes!
This isn't looking good! Ah! Here I come! Demon Tang! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Hurricane of Light!
Raging storm!
Raining stiff!
Light astral into the wind! Here you go!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Do it!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! My turn!
Hurricane Strike!
Strike!
Raging
It's over!
Hurricane Strike!
Take this!
Lightning Strike!
Showtime! Blow away!
Raging cascade!
Blow away!
Sealed!
Strike!
This'll come
I'm not done!
Searing time! Reload! Whoa!
Take this! No escape!
Goes right over! Burning strike! Now!
Grimma!
Astral energy!
Say no more!
Don't let up until it's over.
Who said anything about letting off?
This one isn't normal.
Flying free? What did they just sit still?
I thought you more
take care of them?
defensively much. No sooner said than done.
Switch to offense!
As impressive as always.
Here I hope that was improved.
No, I mean, you're even better than ever.
I've never seen you.
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished.
We've reached our destination.
Hey. Yes. Just great. Got it.
Hey!
Yay!
All right. I never realized before just how hot this place is. It's like being inside a fire.
You're only just noticing? Ah, yes, forgive me. The whole lack of sensory feedback situation.
That's the one. It's hard to believe I once worked in this soup, let alone helped spearhead a revolution.
And all with the mask concealing your face. It must have been very grimy beneath that.
Back then, we had our plates full enough dealing with constant abuse from our Renan overlords. It never occurred to me the air itself was oppressive in its own way. My head's spinning just with the effort it takes to walk.
I think that's called heat stroke. You might want to take a sip of water.
You mean that water that's been festering under the sun for days? I wouldn't chance it without boiling it first.
Oh, I know. I'll go to the dock and fetch us some clean water.
Water alone won't suffice. He'll need to ensure his sodium levels are replenished as well.
In that case, let's see if we can rustle up some rock salt. Alphen, you go cool off in the shade for a while. Xion, stay and keep an eye on him.
And then there were two.
Bit of an overreaction, but it's still kind of them.
Maybe it's not the time, but this place brings back memories.
I know what you mean. We're back where it all started.
You don't ever regret meeting me sometimes, do you?
Are you kidding? You started all of this. Bringing down the wall, retrieving my sense of self. I have no regrets.
Welcome back, Law.
Finally. If only we could have flown with the wind to get here faster.
Yeah! Hey. Yeah! Just...
I guess... Thanks.
Huh?
Well... All right.
All right.
Got it.
Hey, Alvin, what do you think of that chick over there?
Doesn't look like she really works out.
I'm not talking about her muscles, you dummy!
That's Zugo. Looks tough, but...
I think we're game for it, yeah.
Seriously? Is this a joke?
Astral energy!
Say no more!
No! We've almost got it!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! That's some power you wield.
You're the one who did the heavy lifting.
Do you sense one of your friends, Hoodle?
Oh! 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 I sense a strange power from this.
We should be able to cook here.
Is this the barrier that's keeping the Zoogle in that Nath mentioned?
Looks like it. Our Zoogle pal should be on the other side.
This barrier is weird. It looks old and half-finished. Plus, he said it was okay to break.
I mean, we won't need it anymore once the Zoogle's gone, right? So what does it matter? Did they really think that barrier was enough for a Zoogle like that?
It was. That thing was sturdier than you give it credit for.
Really? So that's the Zoogle, huh? This should be a piece of cake.
Don't get careless, Law.
That's not your run-of-the-mill enemy.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Now you see what I can do! How bet that shell's hiding something tasty.
Aim for the weak spot.
Take this!
In here!
Burn in hell! Sword Rain Alpha! Demon Tank!
Inferno crossing! Guardian field!
That's my cue!
Shut him down!
Raining Strike! Take this! No escape!
Mind if I do?
You require...
It's over!
Healing fire!
Raining Strike!
Lunar corruption! Thanks for the healing. Watch yourself, okay? Yeah, you too.
I can carve through armor!
By the power of water! Tempest Whirl!
Not today! Here I come!
Now you've gone and ticked me off!
More for the stockpile!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Lightning Orb! Lightning
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malisa! Ready and ready!
Done!
Can't get out of this!
Lightning Raging
Back
Captain!
you!
Blew away!
Going in!
Inferno!
Here I go!
In here!
Blew away! You'll pay for that! Sword Rain Alpha! The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Here I come! You picked the wrong fight!
I have to train harder.
Our expert coming through!
Blew away!
Hurricane Strike!
Raining Flash!
Dance the wind!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Take
this!
Bring you down.
Dance to the wind! Field!
Demon Tank!
Not like this.
Here's a healing arc!
Raining Flash!
Lightning Orb!
Blew away!
Alright, it's
I'm not
showtime!
done!
Thunderblade!
Here I come! Struck!
Searing Flame!
Armor won't save you!
You're finished!
This one's mine!
Don't give up!
Here, let me help!
I'll bring you back!
Take this!
Air thrust! Resuscitation!
Switch to hydrated!
Not done yet!
Far enough!
Out of ammo!
Take this!
Back into the fray!
Strike!
Illumination!
Raining
Lightning!
Strike!
I'm all
Blew
set up!
away!
Got it!
Strike!
Now let's dance!
Anything in armor is all mine! Can't get out of this! Piercing
Blew
roar!
away! Eat this!
Astral energy! First aid!
Demon Tank!
Go in there! Now you see what I can do!
Thunderblast!
This one's mine! Thunder Field!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Raging Cascade! Hurricane! Here! By the power of water! Here, let me help! I can feel the medicine working.
Ignite! Prepare to be seized!
In a bind! Into the shadow! More for the energy!
I'll smash you! Here I come! Got it! Blue escape! Blow away!
Look sharp! It's time to finish this! Die! Consuming wildfire! I'll bring you back from death's abyss! Dance in the wind! Air Dragon! Dance in the wind!
Can't move!
You have to hold on! All right, let me at it! I'll bring you back to... Great meteor!
Take this! Can't get out of sight!
Dance in the wind!
Leave the torch to me!
Here, this one's mine! Dance in the wind! In here!
Far enough! I can carve through armor!
Here's a healing art! On guard!
Raining to
Hurricane
the flame inside me! Yours to be let free!
I won't give up!
You! Get ready! Stay away from the... In an instant! Impact block!
I can't lose! Hurricane strike!
You picked the wrong fight! Sword Rain Alpha!
Hurricane
No
hero!
armor! Stop me!
It's about to strike!
Look sharp, everyone!
Flaming reach!
Not a chance!
Close one!
I let my guard down.
Healing
No! I can't! Here!
Bring you back from death's abyss!
Anything in armor is all mine!
First aid!
Stay away from my friend!
I'll bring you back from
Raining
death's
flash!
abyss!
Blew away!
I won't give up!
Raining...
What was I thinking?
This vanquished soul with life! Blew away!
Spread! This can't be
I've been hit
happening!
with something!
So even a Masochist has his limits.
Not feeling so great. Okay, here I go! Raining flash!
Hear my call!
Take this! Demon Fang!
Spread! Ready to go! Deny!
Burn in hell! Sword Rain Alpha! Raining...
Anything in armor is all mine!
Demon Fang!
Resuscitation!
Heal! Raining Slash!
Smart!
Blew away!
Forgive me.
Here I... Swallow Blade! Pierce through! Dragon Swole's gonna
The
attack!
enemy is going all out!
Shatter it to pieces! I'll burn it all! Flaming Pillar! Fire!
I'll bring you back from death's abyss! Water after
Blow away!
This one's mine!
Try harder! Now!
Don't leave me! Air thrust!
Shine!
Full
Radiant
power!
light! Boost of regeneration!
Roar! Hear my call! Dance in the wind!
Now you see what I can do!
Spread! Heal! Burning strike!
Glacial Spear! In a bind?
I can handle it!
Sword Rain Alpha! Demon Fang!
Ready and rare!
I'll Outstanding form! Champion?
Blew away!
Healing circle!
Okay, I can carve through armor!
Ice prison!
Blew away!
Searing tunnel! Not my will! I'll pick you up! Recover! What would I do without you? Lunar Blast!
Take this!
Lunar Blast!
In a vine?
I won't give up!
I couldn't make it in time. No! Can't end here! From beyond. Watch yourself! Has incredible power.
Raging
That move!
Here comes the big one! Sword Ring Alpha!
Into the shadows!
Demon Blade!
Here!
Take this!
More for the
Will this
sun!
help?
Activity!
Raging storm!
I can handle it! Demon Plague! Is this it?
Let the marksman handle this!
Vanquished soul with love.
Annihilation!
Being interrupted.
Let's put you out of your misery!
I can carve through armor!
Far enough!
Lightning! Downfall! Lightning contaminant!
Take this! Here I come!
Burning strike!
Burn!
Glacier spear! Pierce the
Blow
evil!
away!
Don't mind if I do!
Take this!
Freeze Lancer!
I'm not
Raging
done!
Cascade!
Is this it?
Forgive me. Lunar Blast! I won't stop that!
Shattering
Annihilation!
Attack time!
Mega Ray! Annihilation! Mega Ray!
Resuscitation!
Here, let me help!
Not done yet!
First aid!
I'll face you!
Forgive me.
Ready to go! Right!
I'll bring you back from death to death.
Raining! Is this it? This should do it! No rest happens.
Wits about you, people!
Here's evil!
Far enough!
Freeze
I owe you
Lancer!
one.
You must be tired of hearing me. I'm merely doing what I can. Glad you're on up.
I'll bring you back from death to I'll bring you back from death to this!
Light up the dark! I'm ready to go!
Resuscitate!
Not like this!
Lunar Blast!
Take it!
Where are you going? I'll bring you back from death to this!
Air pressure!
Resuscitation! I won't give up!
I owe you one. Shine! Radiant! Force of regeneration! Armor won't save you! Regenerate! You're mine!
I'm ready to go!
From beyond, imbue this vanquished soul with life! Resuscitation!
Dreams!
Not like this!
I can't lose!
Demon Plague! Elusive
Into the
deity!
shadows!
Everlasting
Mega
star!
Ray! Lightning!
Shattering!
I'll bring you back from death to
Radiant light! Force of regeneration! No! Regenerate! Can't end here! He who prepares
I'll bring you back from death to
elusive deity! Prepare to obey!
Sloppy!
Not done yet! Now you see what I can do!
Here's evil!
Imbue this no further!
Freeze
Demon
Lancer!
Plague! Watch yourself!
I'll bring you back from
Incredible
death
power!
to
The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Train harder!
You picked the wrong fight!
Eruption! Hold on to your heart! Here I come! I'm ready!
I can't move!
Negative healing circle! I'll bring you back from death to this! This one's mine!
Shattering
Here's a healing
pieces! Attack! I'll smash you!
Crescent move!
Blew away!
Take!
My head's spinning.
Take this!
I won't give up.
Try harder! Shine!
Ready!
Force of regeneration!
Dream!
Let us take to the fray!
Let's shot.
Ready, fly!
You know what I did?
Blow away! The flame inside me yearns to be let free! You this burn! Soul with life!
Radiant!
Radiant!
Hear me! Flame of fury!
Burning flash! Blow away! Burning stuff!
So now you're getting serious?
Inferno!
There! Blow away! Demon Fang!
Radiant will!
I'll smash you! Blow away! Demon Fang!
Alright, let me at it. Not like this.
Blow away! I can't move! This one's tough, but we have no choice.
Let me know if you need healing.
Into the shadows!
Bet that shell's hiding something big.
Go for the weak point!
No armor can stop me.
Remind me to stay on your good side.
It's too much.
Wind after
Sword Rain Alpha!
Going in!
Raining
Where are you going?
Raining
This one's mine.
You're
Far enough.
Healing the light raging cascade!
Ready and
Burning!
now you see what I can do. Can't get out of this.
Here's Eagle!
Thunder touch.
Blow away!
Freeze laser!
Raining Flash! Pistol!
Here, let me help! Now
Swallow Blade! Pierce through! Dragon Swarm!
This one's mine. Igneous discharge.
Freeze
Blow
laser!
away! I'll burn it all! Flaming Pillar! Fire!
Here, let me help!
Up the door.
Take this!
First aid!
Let me out.
Astral Arts!
That's my cue!
Shut him down!
Here's Eagle!
Raining Slash! Blow away! You may be strong, but I'll never back down!
Carve through armor! Who cares?
Sword Rain Alpha! Stay away from my friend!
This one's mine.
Raining
Inferno crossing.
Blow
Ready
away!
to go.
I still got some fire
Raining
in me!
Flash! Blow away!
Lunar
Here I come!
Lunar arm.
No!
Raging Arm!
Can't get here!
Annihilation! Razor Cyclone!
I'm ready to go.
I'll bring you back from Death's Abyss!
Airgate Walker. Lightning strike. I'll bring you down. Black Soul.
Blow away!
Lightning meteor. Inferno Blade.
Save you. You require a hand.
You depart her!
This one's all mine!
Water, hear my
Raining
call!
Flash! Eat dirt!
Red! Lightning meteor! Fury!
Inferno
crossing.
Can't be
Blow away! Raining Flash!
Take that! Healing circle!
Raining
Thanks, Sia.
Be careful not to overdo it.
I'm sorry. I'll do better.
Strike!
Here goes!
Here I come!
I'll take you all on. Ha! Flare Demolitor.
Here's a healing arm!
Nothing gets by me.
Thank you for all your help. Please, don't mention it.
I'm glad to know someone's got my back.
You require a hand.
Lightning strike.
Raging
Raining
storm!
Flash! Not today!
Blown light!
Here I come!
In a bind?
Downfall!
Blow away!
Raging storm!
Raining
Annihilation!
flash!
Blown searing flame!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Wind after lightning! Ready for the
Raining
fray! Here goes! 7-Eye that'll bring you down! Raging cascade! Will this help?
Blow away! Raining slap!
Healing circle!
Raining slap!
Look sharp! I need to pull myself together. Anything in armor is all mine!
Armor won't save you!
No escape! This one's all mine!
Now!
Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished! Take this! Now or never! You picked the wrong fight! Take this! I'm not done! Raining slap! Blow away! Demon pain!
Here, let me help. Raging pain! I'll cover you. You don't mind if I do. Recover!
In a bind?
Hurricane strike!
Blow away!
I'm gone!
I'm not done! I'm not gonna...
Now you're getting serious?
Lord!
Anything in armor is all mine! I can carve through armor!
Tiger blade! Water! Here
This
we
one's
go!
all mine!
Spread! Here goes the
Blow away!
Here's the
You
evil.
picked the wrong fight!
Can't be
You're
stopped!
Try harder!
If it's in the sky, it's mine!
Try harder! Not a chance! Prepare to
Water!
be seen!
This one's mine!
Thrust!
Go in!
In here! No further!
Raging pain! Hurricane now! Healing circle! I owe you one for that!
And just like that, I'm back in.
Start by holding the front line.
No sooner said than done.
Pieces! Attack time!
Blow away!
Raging cascade! Lunar blast!
Idiot! Discharge!
Raining slap!
Ground and here's a healing art!
Here I come!
Their arts were interrupted.
Demon pain!
Here! Light after energy!
Tiger blade! I can carve through armor!
Prepare to be
Here's
seen!
a roar! First aid!
No further!
Flaming meteor!
You picked the wrong fight!
Here's the
Here it comes.
Focus! On your toes, everyone!
Blow away!
Here's a healing art!
Far enough. Appreciate the help.
Take this!
Glacial I'm ready! I'm out of ammo!
I'm gonna need more of that medicine. Try harder! Now! Here I come!
Where are you going?
No escape!
Take this!
Take this!
Lightning strike!
Here's
the roar!
Raining slap!
It looks like you got this one covered.
This one's all mine! Now!
Air thrust!
Here I come! Struck!
Hurricane strike!
Anything in armor is all mine!
Lightning strike!
No escape!
Amazing! Dance in the wind!
Blow
Air
away!
thrust! Healing circle! Astral energy!
Need to pull myself together. I owe you one for that.
Why aren't you human?
To stop me dying?
Right.
Hurricane strike! I'll heal you all!
Raining slap! Blow away!
Healing circle! What would I do without you? Here! Thanks so good! Here!
Now you're getting serious?
Burning strike!
The enemy's on the move.
We've got him where we want him.
It's time to end this battle.
Look sharp! Hurricane strike!
You're mine! Burn it out!
Ready and raring!
Wind astral
I
energy!
can carve through armor!
Dance in the wind!
Not a chance!
Flaming meteor!
Is this it?
Don't give up! Lightning condemned! I'll bring you back from death!
You're on.
I'll bring you back from death! Hurricane strike!
In a bind?
Let me have it. First aid! Thanks so much!
Struck! Blow away! Raining slap!
Here's a healing art! First aid!
Need the help. On guard.
Radiant here!
Raining slap!
See what I can do!
Raining
Try to come over. Let's keep up the pressure.
In here!
Raining slap!
This'll come in handy!
Blow away!
Not on my watch!
Too shy to come over. Here, let me help.
Blow away! Raining slap! You picked the wrong fight! You're mine! No escape! Now you see what I can do!
My head's spinning just watching you!
I can't kill you forever!
Here I go!
So now you're getting serious?
This one's mine!
Sword Rain Alpha!
Raising cascade!
Blow away! Now I'm out! Demon King! Burn in hell! Blow away! Not now, not ever!
Come on! You have to hold on!
Thunder Field!
Do it! Dohalim!
All yours, Kisara!
Huh? What's a letter doing in a place like this?
Hell if I know. I highly doubt that Zoogle was trying to guard it. Still, somebody must have left it for some... Law.
Huh? What's up?
Something up?
It's from my old man. My dear son, I wonder how things will be between us by the time you read this.
In any case, I first want to congratulate you on all that you've accomplished. Making it this far requires a strong body, fine technique, an unwavering spirit, and most of all, friends that you can count on. If you have all of that, then that brings me to what, as with all of us, whether you'll live in a world where blood will, but even if peace, listen to others with an open heart. One more thing, if I ever see you again, I hope to know this. Whatever you think of me...
And there's nothing in this whole...
Zephyr once... I think he wanted to make sure you...
But that still doesn't
Don't forget, we were led to this...
Hey, she's pretty cute.
Hey.
Hey.
I guess... No way. Damn.
All right.
Thanks.
You okay, Law? You seem...
I'm fine. Just...
So I guess that means...
His grave? What do you...
Back before Calaglia was liberated, we got used to cremating our own to deny them the pleasure.
It's all we could do.
But that was...
I suppose you've got a point.
My dad wouldn't want that. Besides, I can't treat him different.
I hadn't thought of it like that. They're probably watching over us.
That's why I can't afford to screw up. If I know my... Still, better than being left alone.
Looks like we get to sleep with a roof over our heads.
I'm impressed how well balanced this thing is.
Hey.
Hey!
Yeah! Right.
Sure.
I don't... Ah!
Okay!
Great. Good. Nice. Ah!
But this...
Yep.
Oh.
Nice. There.
Thanks.
Yes.
Finally. If only we could have flown with...
Hey.
Yeah. Oh.
Yay! What? Yeah!
Yeah.
We avoided getting roasted in that ring. What we could really use is... something to cap this off.
Sure. Got any ideas on what would be good?
Mabo...
Hey, Rinwell.
They were kind. I never needless... Of course. What about...
Same deal. It got back. And now,
I know...
the first...
Yeah.
You don't say...
Not really.
Wow.
He was...
Maybe it's the snow soaking up all the sound.
When it comes to...
I won't argue.
Indeed. It was boorish of me.
All I know is it's freaking cold.
Well, excuse me if I'm too...
Oh, come on. You know I didn't mean you.
How about we stop getting hung up on the
An unexamined past can be just as dangerous in its own right.
Better that than obsessing over it like a certain someone I know.
Kisara doesn't...
I could say this.
Tell me.
I think I'll...
Hoodle let...
Forget that.
Hey!
He appeared...
Funny how
It's not just...
They do...
Well then.
sometimes...
Oh, you...
Wish I had.
Really?
That's dumb.
What's...
Unless...
Come again.
Ow! Ah!
You guys want to rest here?
I always love the sound of hammers banging away.
Doing some...
Nah.
Is it a...
Maybe. Yet here we all are.
If anything.
And?
I figured that it was easier to give up on intimacy. I mean...
But now...
Right. Now... I still have my thorns, of course. But they don't cover my heart. I know now. Everyone...
It wasn't swordsmanship.
You see?
What do you mean?
I mean, the bond... It's not just...
Want some?
Hey, Elf.
You know,
But now that you...
Did you like...
Not as much. I can most...
I don't think...
I just wish...
I like...
We all...
What was that?
Enough.
You know...
That's so...
And I guess...
I'm only good.
I like fish.
Really?
When you get down...
What? Hey, guys. I don't see it.
What?
I know.
What?
Huh?
This affects you.
What? How could...
Hunger is...
Whoever... Law?
What?
Food. Hand it over.
Hey, I'm back. I...
I'll see you again tomorrow. Heck. It's a little tough to fight when I'm this full.
Yeah, but who knows when our next meal will be.
Indeed.
I came out great.
Did we... Really just spend that much money? I see you've... Huh?
Oh, it's you two. I was merely tending to my collection.
Don't you think you've polished them enough by now?
I tried.
I thought you could...
I can't.
What are they...
I must... Oh,
He never...
Nope. Like how...
an excellent observation.
I don't see...
Why, that's...
I'm serious!
Come on.
My word. This must be the work of Providence.
What now?
It means destiny. I think it's a bit of an exaggeration, though. Huh? Something smells nice.
It's finished. Hopefully the...
I'll see you again tomorrow.
It's a brand new day, everyone. Greet the dawn.
A laudable sentiment.
Hey, is Dohalim's shirt on backwards?
Suffice it to say, mornings aren't his strong suit.
I think Hoodle senses something.
That treasure. What a sweet-sounding ring it has.
You really think so?
What do you say we check back in on the ranch? Everything okay?
House, what's eating at you? Yeah.
It's...
A pebble?
snuck...
Oh,
Yeah.
You know, maybe this is a crazy solution, but you could just take your boot off and give it a... That's the trouble with windy place.
Outfit.
Now that you
So much for scent.
Nothing.
What's the...
He wants... Would you...
Point take.
You make sure to rest too, Hoodle.
I'll see you again tomorrow.
Hoodle and I couldn't eat another bite.
Keep feeding him like that. He'll be too heavy to fly soon.
the animals back at the ranch should be all grown up by now. Hey, Shion. Why do you look so tense whenever...
Done. This is...
This was a good day.
Days like this are perfect to curl up with a good book.
Yeah, tell me about it.
What in the world would you do with a book?
Hey, the pictures can teach a guy a lot.
I think Hoodle senses something.
Hey, Law.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
I meant in...
Huh?
Either that, may the tri...
Rome?
You know, I...
Look.
Hey, Thunderblade! A little...
From the look, it wouldn't be called...
Hey,
That's a...
Sorry.
But then,
I can imagine...
because of
Alphen's still alive. And after all...
Besides...
That's true. But I do remember...
But that was a...
Don't worry, and you're right.
I'll say. And if it's...
You might just...
Uh-oh.
Well...
Even after staying here,
Renan and Danon are...
that might be the case now, but it can't always have been like that.
Once, maybe.
If it's...
You're right.
These things take... What the... An a bug?
Something...
This realm, in fact...
Sounds like they're tougher than they look.
What?
I would...
Insects...
Dohalee.
Hey!
Who...
This history... In the air here, I can smell it.
I don't smell anything.
Don't encourage him.
What do you all...
That?
Do you mean...
Hoodle said...
Really?
Not that...
Alphen,
Like the...
I'll say...
Probably...
Hey,
maybe if...
Don't you think...
Good point.
I never...
admit it.
Is it...
Oh,
He's sorry. Spoken.
The more I...
Ew!
that...
That's so...
You never know.
So, babe...
Are you...
I'm glad I made it in time.
I wish I could use healing arts.
Phew, what a rush.
That was quite the little adventure we went on.
Is the blazing sword okay?
A little water's not going to hurt it.
Is every shield you own that big?
Here, you want to try holding it?
Ugh. How do you even walk with this thing?
That's no ordinary enemy I see over there.
you all off! I'm not done! Rain blast! Sword rain alpha! Demon fang! We did it!
As impressive as always.
Ah, and here I hope that...
No, I mean, you're even better than ever.
Hold up. Is this as valuable as I think it is?
We should be able to cook here.
I'll... Wait. I just love the sound of hammers banging away.
Take this!
Hear my call! This one's whatever you do, just stay away from the spores! Water! Now!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Did it!
Yeah! Nice technique!
Hold up. Is this as valuable as I think it is? Get out of this!
This one's mine! Reload!
Take this!
Excited! Hurricane! Ready! Mega ray! Lightning! It's like tying me up with a wolf! Glacial spear! Here's the evil!
Take this! Eat this!
Freeze laser!
The enemy wields arts too.
We'll see about that!
Here I
Who
come!
wants to die next?
Thanks.
Blow away!
The earth throbs in pain.
Everybody okay?
We're all right, Alphen.
No choice! Here I come!
Lightning condensed!
No further!
Going in!
Gemini Aqua!
Come and face me!
Lightning!
This one's gonna be tough!
Do it! Inferno crossing!
Sleep now.
Denied!
What would we ever do without you, Kisara?
You've got a whole team to rely on.
Yeah, well, maybe apart from one individual.
You're feistier than you look.
Can't change the future without getting your hands dirty.
Dramatic, but fair.
Air thrust!
I know fine weapon material when I see it. We've reached our destination.
Hey, Shion.
Rinwell, mind if we chat a little? I'm surprised to see you up reading so late. What have you got there?
Oh, it's a book about magic. I was hoping I'd reach the end of this chapter before I went to bed.
I'm impressed you can read all that tiny text without drifting off.
It's easy. Honestly, the subject is so interesting, it keeps me wide awake. Although I have to admit, the more I read this book, the more I realize just how much I still have to learn. I hate not...
So that's...
Really?
Remember how...
Sure.
Definitely.
Are you saying... Well, I used to hate, but now, all mad saying...
I think you...
What?
I mean...
Nope.
If Law heard that, he'd be pretty bummed, you know.
You're crazy. I don't see why he would be.
Are you saying you rather he wouldn't be? I'd say the fact you can get so worked up about things now is another sign you...
Sounds... I'm so actually... I'm counting on you, Alphen. Thanks to you, I was able to rest easy.